Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited you all are here today. The weather has been changing and it is getting a little bit cold, and so I have been craving warm and cozy soup. You can hear my kids are playing in the background, and I just wanted to show you 3 different recipes that I have made recently combined into one video. So you're gonna see I'm in different outfits because I made them on different days, but I wanted to compile them so that you can see them all in one video, that they're super easy to access and they are lower in point, super delicious, and something you won't want to miss. The first soup we're gonna make is a potato ham soup. I thought of this recipe because I love cashew milk and was able to make a recipe with lower points that's still creamy. A lot of times when you hear the word creamy, it means higher calorie, higher points, but I was able to make this recipe a little bit lower points. It's definitely higher points than some of my other soup. It's definitely higher points than some of my other soups, but I love it. So I'm gonna show you guys how I make that one now. So for this recipe, we're gonna use some chicken stock, kale, 2 potatoes, ham, cashew milk to make it nice and creamy, and the secret ingredient, black pepper, makes it taste so good. I just got a bone-in ham. I don't really know how you say that. A bone-in ham, and I just cut up small pieces, and then I did weigh it just to be accurate on points, and this is 14 points worth of ham. That is definitely where most of the points will come in for this soup, but it is so worth it for how flavorful and satisfying it is. I'm going to start by adding 8 cups of chicken broth to my pan. If I had celery, onions, or carrots, I would also add these to the recipe. I would saute the onions and celery first and then add in the chicken stock, but I just don't have those today, so this is going to have to do. And then we'll add our ham in so it gets the chicken broth flavored really well. And then while the chicken broth is heating up, I'm going to dice up my potatoes. So I have washed these potatoes beforehand, and then we'll just dice them up into small pieces. Potatoes are 4 points a piece. So it definitely adds points, but it also keeps you satisfied. So I think it's worth it for the points. This also freezes really well, and so if you do have leftovers, just put it in a glass container and it will freeze really well, and you can just take it out when you need a meal. When I add carrots, onions, and celery, it adds extra vegetables, which is really nice. Vegetables are the hardest thing for me to get in my diet on a regular basis, so I try to add vegetables in my soups where I can, but today I'll just be adding kale because that's what I have available. But really, whatever vegetables you have, you could throw in. Whatever you enjoy in your soups. Okay, and then once your potatoes are diced, we're gonna add them to the pan. It's fine if it's not boiling yet because your chicken broth will be boiling soon. So now we'll add our potatoes to the chicken broth. We'll bring the chicken broth to a boil and just wait until the potatoes are soft and tender. Now that it's boiling, we'll cook this for about 5 minutes, and then the potatoes should be done, but we will check them before we add anything else in. So it's been about 5 minutes, so I'm going to take one potato out and just see if it's soft. Perfect. So it's nice and soft. So we'll throw in, I'm going to do 3 cups of kale. I don't measure this out. This is probably more than 3 cups, but a lot of kale. It shrinks really easily. We'll mix that all in. And then I'm gonna add in 3 cups of cashew milk. The cashew milk will make it nice and creamy, give extra volume for really low points. Stir that and see how it looks. Looks perfect. And then we'll add in lots of black pepper. So I don't necessarily measure it, you just kind of do it to your own taste, but I will say the more the merrier, at least for me. So I'm gonna do quite a bit of black pepper because that's what I enjoy. All right, let's give this a taste. I might even do more black pepper, but I'm gonna give it a try and see what it tastes like. Perfect. I am gonna add a little bit more. I like it super peppery. And just because there's so much volume here, you need quite a bit of pepper. All right, so we'll let that simmer for about 10 minutes and then our soup is done. So our soup is done. And when I calculated out the points, there's 24 points in all of the soup and there's 14 cups. So it comes to 2 points a cup. And if you wanted to stretch it even farther, you could add more chicken broth. I grabbed more chicken broth in mine, so there's even more meat and potatoes and kale in the rest of the soup because I think I might add some extra chicken broth just to make it stretch a little bit farther for lower points. So all of this, because this is 2 cups, this is 4 points. An amazing meal for only 4 points. I find it super helpful to have something warm. It just keeps me full longer. So soup is something super beneficial for me. I get veggies in and it just keeps me full a little bit longer. Next, we're gonna make a potato Italian sausage soup. It's pretty similar to the potato ham, but it does have a couple differences and the flavor is very different. So let me show you that one now. So I'm gonna start by cutting up half of an onion. And then I'm gonna spray my pan with avocado spray, which is 0 points and 0 calories. And then we'll saute our onions. I love this minced garlic because it's already pressed for me. And then we're gonna do half a teaspoon of garlic. And we'll just let this saute. While that's sauteing, I'm gonna cut up our potatoes. So I washed these ahead of time. I'm just gonna dice them up. These potatoes ended up being pretty big, so I'm actually just gonna stick with 3 potatoes just because 1, it will save on points, and also I ended up with a lot more potatoes than I expected, which is 3 potatoes. So I'm gonna set the potatoes aside. Then we're gonna take the casing out of the sausage and just make it so that you get the inside. So we'll take the casing off. Do that. We just take a knife and just cut the outside of the sausage off. And it's typically a little bit hard just because you obviously want it on for when you cook it as a regular sausage. But we'll just take this out. We'll just throw the casing away. So I'm gonna start with 3 and just see if I need more, kind of wing it. But it does add a decent amount of points, so I just want to use it if I need it. I obviously want the soup to have good flavor, but also want to save on points where I can. So you can hear our onions are starting to sizzle. So we'll let them simmer a little longer and then we'll cook our ground turkey in this. Okay, now that they are a little bit done, we're going to add our turkey. They're obviously going to cook a little bit longer as this turkey cooks. Really? Okay, so we'll let this ground turkey cook with the onions. So I'm just stirring it occasionally so that all the sides get done and it doesn't burn. But the turkey is giving the onions really good flavor and seasoning. Looks so yummy. It smells so yummy already. And then I'm going to add 8 cups of chicken broth once the turkey is done. Oh, look at all that yummy seasoning. Looks so good. So there's 6 cups in this, and I'll do 2 cups in the next one. And then we're going to add our potatoes. All right, this is what I was thinking. It seems like a lot of potatoes, so I'm actually going to add the rest of the chicken broth. And then we might even add the other sausage just because we're going to be making more volume, but we'll see. I'm just going to start with this. And then one thing I didn't mention that goes in this recipe is kale. So I'm going to do 5 cups of kale. All right, now that the potatoes are done cooking, I'm going to add in the cashew milk. So I'm going to do 3 cups, which will be 2 points. I decided to do 3 cups just because I'm increasing the volume of the chicken broth. And so I thought I'd want to make it a little bit more creamy. We'll stir that in. This looks so good. Can't wait to try it. And I'm just gonna let it cook for maybe about 5 more minutes. And it'll be ready. Look at that. So yummy. And then we're gonna add our soup to a bowl. Kind of hard to video because it's so steamy. It looks really good. All right, this is the end product. And then it came to about 6 servings, and each bowl is 4.5 points. I'm just gonna count 5 points to round up. The last recipe I'm going to show you is like a vegetable soup chili type recipe. You can use whatever vegetables you have and throw them in the soup. I typically just do kale, onions, carrots. This is one of my favorite really low point, even 0 point options depending on what kind of meat you use. Ground chicken has been my go-to because it's pretty flavorful and 0 points. Otherwise, 0% fat ground turkey is also 0 points. So I'm going to start out by showing you the ingredients to this recipe. 2 cans of chickpeas. Last time I used kidney beans and white beans and it was super yummy with that, but I'm going to try it with chickpeas this time. 2 cans of corn. Both of these are going to strain and rinse them. We'll do fire roasted tomatoes. I really like the kind with garlic in it, but they didn't have those at the store today, so I'm just going to do fire roasted. 2 containers of chicken stock. I'm doing ground chicken because it's 0 points. You can also do 0% fat ground turkey. Some chili powder, 1 onion, and a bunch of kale. It is an awesome way to get a ton of veggies in for 0 points with barely tasting it. So we're gonna start by cooking our ground chicken. Okay, I actually messed up. We have to first cut up our onion and saute that, and then we'll cook our ground chicken with the onion. So I'm gonna spray my pan with avocado spray. We're gonna add our chopped onion and let it saute. And then I added the ground chicken, so we'll let that cook now. Now that the meat is cooked, we get to add in all the rest of the ingredients. So we're gonna start by adding our chicken stock. And then we'll add the other one as well. We'll add in 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Two cans of kerneled corn. A generous portion of chili powder. Mix it all together. And we'll just let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then you're gonna drain and rinse your chickpeas. And then we're gonna add in some kale. I like to add quite a bit of kale because it shrinks quite a bit. And we'll mix it all together and let it simmer for another 10 minutes. And we'll have a delicious soup. So you can already see it shrinking quite a bit already. And then you have an amazing soup for 0 points and super high in protein. I split the soup into 14 different servings and it came to 135 calories and 12 grams of protein for all of this. I will definitely be eating this a lot and it comes to 0 points. I hope that you guys enjoyed these soup recipes. I personally have loved them, and I hope that I'm able to inspire and encourage you on your health journey. You could write a comment down below which one you think you'll try first. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.